This is Roy with the Love Chat, and today's topic is hello.
Hey everybody, how's it going? All right. Okay, no mod today. Just me. We're flying solo today. We're keeping this nice and exclusive. Not even the mod gets to hear. Can you imagine that? Not even Lily gets to hear this. So, let me get into the questions on the Patreon first, and then we're going to jump into the live questions now. Derpman says, can I send a Christmas card to the ex's family? You know, I think that that's okay. If you're sending it to their family and not specifically to them, I think that's okay. And certainly for those of you in the chat, feel free to add some thoughts on that. Let's be a community. I think that if it's to the family, it's a classy move. It shows that, you know, I appreciate you people. You were part of my life. And I think that that's okay personally. Now, talking to your ex specifically is one thing. We don't want to do that. But talking to their family, personally, I think that's okay. It's a classy move. The second part of that question is, and what if I really stopped putting effort into the relationship for a couple of months and was anxious and needy, selfish, and accusatory, so she broke it off? It seems like she definitely moved on. Been broken up for almost 2 months now. Well, let's answer the first half of that. If you were anxious and needy and selfish and accusatory, show her the change, right? But not by telling her, hey, I've changed and here's how. Rather, you want to showcase the change through action, right? No contact is a form of contact. No contact is an action. Inaction, in and of itself, is an action. Think about that. Inaction is a form of action. The next half of that question was, is no contact all the way still the most successful? I really want to apologize for how I've been behaving. My anxiety really took a hold of me. You know, the reason that people have problems with no contact is because it shows we need to reach out, right? We need to do something. Happy holidays to you too. Thank you. And so people want to break no contact because they think if I could just talk to my ex, right, things would be great. If I could just let them know that I'm sorry and I'm not going to do it again, things would be great. But we need to ask ourselves if that's what causes attraction, and it's really not. The idea behind no contact is that you focus on you, and that if your ex misses you and loves you and if you really impacted their life in a positive way, they'll reach out to you. Now, just because they reach out doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get them back, but it does mean that they'll reach out in order to, do something as simple like wish you a happy Christmas or a happy birthday or whatever. So the next question was from One Tall Mama. My ex is a recovering addict, clean 15 months. Broke up with me October 23rd and been in no contact since then. Well, good on him for being clean. I've been in family and personal counseling since the breakup at the rehab where he graduated over the summer. I found out at last night's counseling session that he reached out to them again. Can a relationship survive addiction issues? It can. It can, but it's hard. Hi, Clara. Let's see. They're together for 3.5 years. He had his addiction before me, and I never used. I don't think he knows who he is now that he's sober or how to be another person. I believe that he loves me, but that he doesn't know himself anymore and is not handling the stress in an effective way. Well, a lot of us don't. Is there hope for a relationship in this instance? I'm silently rooting for him and working on me in the meantime. Well, first off, I think that's extremely healthy for both of you. Good on him for getting help. Good on you for focusing on you. Is there possibility? Yes. But I think all of that healing for both of you need to take place. One Tall Mama also asks, wanted to know what you think of Craig Kenneth's workbooks. I personally haven't seen the workbook. From the people who I've coached or have, who I've heard about the workbooks from, is that they're very self-reflective. So it's kind of like, here's a couple of questions, go watch these 3 videos and then answer those questions. I don't like that format so much, but that's not because it's not an effective format. It's just because when I buy a book, I want to read what's in the book. I don't want to have to go do the work for the book specifically. And so that's my take on that. I haven't, in full disclosure, I have never opened one of them. I've never seen what the cover looks like. I don't know anything about his books, only from what you all tell me. So if anybody here can help One Tall Mama, if you have Craig Kenneth's workbooks, if you enjoy it, and you want to write something in chat, please do that. Jose, and this is the last question on this link, and then we'll get to the live questions. Jose says, 4 months ago, my ex wanted to be friends, and she said she would contact me when she was ready for it. I didn't know about you back then, and now I feel she'll reach out for Christmas or my birthday. Should I act funny, charming, and then tell her I'm looking for more than friendship? Right. I think that, your ex may have told you that she wanted to remain friends just to help you feel okay with what happened. But, oops, I always do this every time. I never forget to switch it to the live screen. You guys have to yell at me for that. Should you act funny and charming and then tell her I'm looking for more than friendship? I think you should thank her for reaching out for Christmas or your birthday and then say, yes, you should be funny, you should be charming and relaxed, and not really attached to the outcome, and just say, hey, I agreed to friendship a while back. It's not something I'm really into. I think that I said that just because I was afraid of losing you in my life. But I've become okay with that possibility. And while I want us to be together, stay together, and be a successful couple, I understand that that might not be possible at this time. So, I just wanted you to know that I'm not okay with friendship, and, give me a call if you change your mind. You're going to be thankful that you didn't lie, right? You're going to be thankful that you stood up for yourself and said, I really don't want to be your friend. Like, I want you as a romantic partner. This is what I genuinely want. I don't want to be around to see you eventually date someone else and to give you advice to help you guys succeed. I don't want that. I don't actually want to be your friend. I like being friendly with you, but I don't want to be your friend. All right, let's get to the live questions. Sisu said, my ex sent breadcrumbs after cheating and leaving me for someone else. He said he wished we could start over, then he blocked me. How do you stop feeling worthless about getting replaced? Breakups are really so funny like that, aren't they? Because somebody can do horrible things to you, and you can blame yourself for it. This is the sign of emotional abuse. When somebody does something bad to you, and you feel like it's your fault, right? Or rather, maybe a better way to put it is, You feel bad because they did something selfish, and it's just funny how it shakes your confidence in yourself. Hi, Anthony. I think that one of the best things that you can do for yourself, Sisu, is realize that what your ex did to you is a reflection of them, not of you. How do you stop feeling worthless about getting replaced? Well, you take the conversation away from your ex and put it onto you. Focus on you. Do things for you. If your ex cheated on you and left you, your ex is missing out. And I think that you should use this time to rebuild, to refocus, to make yourself the best version of yourself that you can be. I know the information is the same that you guys hear over and over again, but I wonder how many people are following it. The hard part of working on yourself is actually doing it, you know? And so I hate to have it be so straightforward, but sometimes the easiest information is the most effective. Less is more. All right, Dan, I bought Craig's workbooks. I found them sort of helpful. Like Rory said, it's mostly watch this free video and reflect. Overall, I wasn't too pleased, but I haven't gone too far into them. Yeah, I may buy his workbook to do a review of it on the channel, but I don't want this to turn into I'm criticizing another coach unless they deserve to be criticized. And as you all know, I love Craig Kenneth. I think he's a great guy and he's a great coach and clearly knows what he's talking about. But I think that it's important that we are using information that's helpful. So, hi Carlos. Hi Isaac. Genome44. My ex seems happy whenever I see something of hers on Facebook or Instagram. I probably should take more time off social media. Still, it hurts to see that sort of stuff, almost like they don't care. Remember, how many people do you know on social media? Let's just say it's not even your ex. Let's just say it's anybody else. How many people do you see on social media who are showing everything negative that's happening in their life? Right? How much negative stuff? Anybody? How many of your friends on Snapchat, Instagram, social media are showing you, hey guys, today, this bad thing happened? They're all showing you the good stuff, right? What's going right, how amazing their life is. Because social media in and of itself is about the validation that you get from it. Hey friends, look how amazing my life is. You should all click like so that I know that I'm cool. That's sort of the idea. Social media, I don't find to be all that helpful. In fact, I think it's kind of poisonous. Let's see. Dan says, my ex has gotten back with her ex before as a hookup thing. As a hookup, thinking they would have a good thing again, but cut it off after. I hate the thought of it because it feels hopeful and not hopeful for my chances. I think, Dan, as always, that if you keep the happiness contingent on your ex, what your ex does, how your ex can do better, then it's always going to be the same conversation. It's going to be a different flavor, but ultimately the same dish. Think about that. If the conversation's always my ex, my ex, my ex, then that will always be the only thing that makes you happy. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to adjust something here with the settings. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay, that should be a lot better. Perfect. Alright, so that's fixed. So Dan, I really want you to turn this conversation on yourself. Remember that worrying about what your ex does is in and of itself not attractive. So I want you to think about that. Isaac says, okay, so I broke no contact, and my ex said that she's happier without me, and said I was the reason for all her insecurities. She said that she genuinely feels nothing towards me, not even as a friend. Well, Isaac, I think that breaking no contact during a time where your ex is not receptive to that is going to garner that sort of response. Remember, if your ex doesn't want to hear from you right now, and you haven't given it enough time to really exist in that space and allow her emotions to kind of relax and level out, and you reach out to her, of course that's what the answer is going to be, right? You keep trying to force an interaction by breaking no contact. They're building a fence, and you keep storming through it. Give her some time. Give her some space. Al says, hi, Rory. My ex texted me on Wednesday, then again Thursday at 6:15, and wrote, anyways, enjoy your holiday and have a good Christmas. All the best in the new year. I replied at night and mirrored her reply. Is my reply okay? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you too. Simple as that. That's all you need to do. Little interactions. Less is more. Hey, thank you so much. Hope you have a good Christmas too. Simple. Drama-free. That's all you need to show them. It's like she has to prove this new direction in her life is great, and she needs to prove it. I think that is pretty much social media's only... If she needs to prove it, that probably means she doesn't believe it. Isaac, she also said she wanted me out of her life forever. Isaac, give her some time to back away from the anger. Give her the time, give her the space. I already said hi to Carlos. Clara said, I personally find there are tons of coaches for men, not many for women. I really like the Susan Winter and Corey Wayne and have read his book, but once again catered to men. Corey Wayne most definitely caters to men. I like to think that I don't necessarily cater to any gender. I think I cater to everybody, but it sometimes is important to find a coach that works for you, that you really click with, you know? We need, much like a counselor. If you can visit a counselor and they cannot be a good counselor for you, but that doesn't mean they're a bad counselor. Much like an actor, you can book an actor that's maybe not right for the role, but that doesn't mean they're not a good actor. I personally like Corey Wayne's information, but I completely agree that he's very much for men. Susan Winter I like, and I'm going to be doing a video on the X-Back Coaches Part 3, and that's probably going to come out next week. So you guys should stay tuned for that, especially Clara. I know you've been asking for that video forever. So you're going to see that one fairly soon. I like Susan Winter, and I'll be doing a bit more in-depth on her videos, because she coaches very differently. She coaches much more like a psychologist. So we'll be talking about that in a minute. Let's see. Oh, there goes the dog, right? Carlos says, if my ex unfollowed me on Instagram, but didn't delete me from Facebook, does that mean something? Not particularly. Bear with me real quick. I'm going to stop the dog from barking so you guys have a better experience. Sorry about the pause, guys. Oh, I definitely will. You know, the funny thing is that he only chooses to bark when I'm doing the live streams. If I'm doing a video, he's nice and quiet. So let's see. Anthony says, I went on a first date a few days ago with a new girl, and I thought it went really well. We had a great conversation, and we kissed at the end. I texted her 2 days after, asking her out, but got nothing. Right back into no contact. Right? Even if it's a new person. Let them come to you. Let her wonder about you. I wouldn't text her 2 days after. You should have waited a week. But it's okay. You're learning. Don't get too attached. Right? Don't replace one addiction in one person for another. Focus on you. Hi, Christy. She said, hi, Rory. You say that a rebound is when their feelings aren't resolved before they start a new relationship. How do we know whether their feelings were resolved or not without mind reading? It's a good question. There's no real way to know. You have to judge it based on their actions. You really have to judge based on their actions. I think that's the best way to go about it. And the dog wants to come say hi. One day I'll show you guys what he looks like. How do you know your ex's feelings are resolved or not without mind reading? You need to take a look at their actions, like I was saying. Is your ex doing a lot of things that everybody else would consider to be bad? You know, man, I don't really think, I don't think that they're ready to date yet. Or, oh god, he's dating like a new girl a week. Those are unresolved feelings. We need to look at the actions. Al says, also, my ex bought me a small gift. Do I reciprocate? Was going to send a Hallmark e-card with an e-gift card. Midweek, she texted me saying while having a few glasses of wine and sent me a Christmas song in the text. I think because, I'm going to be very clear here, Al, because of your specific situation and because your ex is in regular contact with you and gifting you things, I think it's okay for you to reciprocate. But only because we're seeing that behavior, right? If we saw nothing and you gifted her out of nowhere, that would be bad. I think you can get her an equal gift, right? If she kept it small, you keep it small. Anthony says, also, I've started dating again, and I've been a lot happier lately, so no contact definitely works. Good on you, my friend. I couldn't even imagine not having my ex with me a few weeks ago, but now I could care less about her. Good. Positive trend. Keep it going. Isaac said, the thing was she wasn't angry or didn't seem angry, and I heard that she's in love with the new guy, but aren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend. But you definitely just want to feel better. I think that whether she's in love with this new person or not, the point is that you should be focusing on you. Take the conversation away from her. And we've talked about this in our private coaching. Take the conversation away from your ex. She is not... you meant I. But I definitely just want to feel better. The best way to do that is to stop wondering and worrying about where she's at and accept that you're going to feel a little bad for a while. I will say hi to the dog. The dog's name is Data. Like Star Trek. Mr. Data. Yeah, his head's lifting. He's like, whoa, you talking to me? Could some of us dumpies be the rebound? I do like you. Well, thank you, Claire. That's very nice of you. Can a dumpy be a rebound? Yes, absolutely. It depends on how long the relationship was. It depends on some of the factors that you're seeing. But yes, a rebound is... I did it again. Switched it back. You guys got to remind me. I think that it is entirely possible for a dumpy to be a rebound. The problem with rebounds is that sometimes the rebound can turn into the new relationship. I can like somebody I'm rebounding with and like them enough to want to form a new relationship with them. So that's something to think about. Why does an ex say she was never really happy with you during the moment of the breakup, even though we were together for 12.5 years? That broke my heart, and I don't understand why. That's just how they're feeling in the moment. That's a load. That's a complete load. I'll even go there. It's a load of bullshit. That's not real. She was with you for 12.5 years. She was happy with you. Don't worry about that. How funny, Clara. Mine's Maltese as well. He's a Maltese cockapoo. Dan, I'm okay with being single and not getting back together with my ex. I found I am happy with myself, and since my knee is healed, I'm wrestling again, finally. Going to 1 to 3 practices a day. A day? Wow. Go Dan, that's a lot of practicing. Holy moly. Hi, Rory. Can I get my ex back where we have a daughter and she has a new boyfriend? It is completely possible. It's entirely within the realm of possibility. But remember that during this time, and since you can't really go fully into no contact because you share a child, you want to go into more of a limited no contact. You don't want to give your ex too much, and nor do you want to emotionally stonewall your ex. You just don't want to give them any real affection or love or caring, nor do you want to be a dick. You have to find that middle ground. You're indifferent. Really, that's the way we want you to act. Indifferent. Focus on you, and wait for the iron to strike. Wait till the iron's hot, and that's when you strike. Carlos says, Rory, what are my chances now of getting back with her? I don't know if you remember my situation. I remember everybody's situation. Carlos, I resent that. We spoke 2 weeks ago. Your chances exist, but I can't boil it down to a percentage, right? That's not healthy. And so I saw a coach, Coach Lee did this recently on his website. Somebody showed it to me, that he added a percentage back quiz where you can answer questions and he'll tell you your percentage chance of getting your ex back. And I want you guys to avoid stuff like that, right? It's not healthy, nor is it even realistic. The human brain, behavioral analysis, we just don't work that simply. You can't find out what your chances are from a quiz. So please avoid things like that. It's not helpful for your mental health. And that's where we need to focus our attention right now. Your mental health. Dan says, just lately, the thought of the fun times we had keep coming up, so I've been thinking of chances here and there. Guess it's the holidays. Absolutely, but remember, Dan, that your ex is going to be thinking that as well. Right? Our exes are not immune to the holidays. Is it worth letting my ex's girlfriend know that she was cheated on too? I know life isn't fair, but it feels like cheaters run off into the sunset. Is it worth letting my ex's girlfriend know that she was cheated on too? Does that mean that your ex cheated on his new partner with you? If so, the right thing to do is to let her know. But I think that you're not going to get a good response because she's going to think, oh, wow, my current partner's old ex is trying to make our relationship unstable. So he might not believe. Hard to say. Olga. Hi, Rory. What if my ex has never ever chased anyone and never come back to any of his exes, most of the time due to his insecurity? I mean, maybe he wants to reach out to me, but can't bring himself to do that. Olga, I think that I hear this objection all the time. And it's basically, what if my ex is stubborn? What if my ex doesn't reach out for some reason, right? Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe it's a stubborn nature. Who knows? I think that you want to ask yourself the bigger and greater implications of that. You were there. You were willing to make the relationship work. And from you begged and pleaded and you showed your ex that, hey, I want to be in this relationship with you. I'm here. Help me. Right? Let's work on this together. I want to be a team. And your ex still walked away, knowing that you wanted to fix things. And as icing on the cake, your ex isn't going to reach out, right? Even if your ex really wants you back and knows that you're willing to work on the relationship and your ex still isn't going to reach out, I think that that's somebody that's not healthy for you. It's possible to want a partner back and realize that they're not healthy for us. And that's kind of what's heartbreaking about it, is that we want something that we know we can't have. Or sometimes, maybe we can have it, but we shouldn't. That's even the more painful place to be. Isaac says, my ex told me that I made her the happiest she's been in her life, but now she's saying she thinks I made her sad, not that happy. Well, right, Isaac, your ex is not currently receptive to the fact of coming back with you. You can't take everything she's saying right now to face value. Right? Your ex right now, as you're interacting with her, is telling you, Isaac, leave me alone, never talk to me again, I hate you, whatever she's saying. All that tells me is that she is not receptive to a relationship right now, and that may be forever, but you need to be okay with the fact that it might be forever. So, it's all about how they're feeling in the moment. And I'll use this example. Imagine you wake up, you're having a nice cup of coffee. You spill the coffee on yourself. You're driving to work, you get in a minor car accident. You continue driving to work, you get pulled over and have a ticket. Your boss comes up to you, gives you 10 new assignments to work on. Right? And then your friend walks up and says, hey, you look like you're having kind of a bad day. You look at your friend and you go, no shit, Sherlock, I'm having a bad day. Well, and he goes, whoa, I didn't expect that response. And you look at him and go, well, yeah, no shit, look at me. Like, look, do I look like I'm having a good day? Do I need somebody telling me I'm not having a good day? You're not receptive to that smart-ass comment your coworker just told you, right? Because you are having a really, really bad day. It's no different. Your ex is in a space where she's not receptive to talking to you. She's not receptive to being with you. And so you need to be okay and take the message, take the hint, and leave her alone. She may one day get over that quote-unquote bad day that I described, but she may not. And the point is, when you're working on yourself and you place your happiness contingent on you, not her, that's when you truly win. So that is what I want you to think about. I'm going to subscribe to Meetup after hearing about it on one of your videos. Meetup is not really considered a dating site, right? More like a way of being social. Absolutely. While there are meetups, meetup groups for singles, where you can kind of organically meet somebody, the vast majority of them are not. I went to a meetup a couple of months ago, and it was really fun. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I went to this Harry Potter trivia night at a bar, and it was like one of the funnest things I've ever done. Most fun things I've ever done. And a different one that I saw there, I mean, I'm happily in a relationship, but one of the things I saw there was hiking, late 20s to early 30s. I thought that'd be great. Oh, for singles, that little was on the end. And I thought, how fun would that be, huh? Meeting somebody you find to be, exciting and fun and attractive, who's into fitness, out in nature, that's great. And there's a good mixture of men to women. There's a good ratio of the genders, so I would definitely check it out. Christy, my ex is still with his rebound and doesn't talk to his family about her, nor does he bring her around them, but his family has been reaching out to me, telling me they miss me. How should I respond? Well, it's his family, so I think it's okay to say I miss you guys too. Answer honestly. We are a year and a half to 2 years apart, February of this year, for the last 2 weeks together. For the last 2 weeks together. I need to read this again. We are a year and a half to 2 years apart, February of this year, for the last 2 weeks together. Can you that's not making too much sense to me. Can you rewrite that? Well, somehow I knew it. Thank you. You're very welcome. Good to have you here. Dan says, how does listening or playing music help? I found that listening to sad music can help soothe anxiety sometimes. Well, Dan, there's a whole field of psychology and therapy called music therapy. And I think that music therapy is extremely helpful. It's an outlet, right? Music helps us access some of those deeper, tucked-in feelings that we have. Personally, I like listening to lo-fi and classical music. The stuff that you hear right now is called lo-fi. And I don't know, it just helps chill me out. It makes me focus a bit more. Music does very interesting things to the brain. In fact, there's a whole section of your brain that's devoted to music. And music is a learning style. So it might be something to look into. Music therapy may be very helpful for you. You're very welcome, Carlos. Anyway, there's a tension between us despite everything that happened. It's your responsibility to relieve that tension through being indifferent, through being relaxed and easygoing, and everything's fine, right? There's no reason to worry, because if things don't work today, they will work tomorrow, and it's your job to make sure they work tomorrow for you, for your life, and for your daughter. Every time I had a thought about my ex, I wrote it down and told myself to wait and worry about it till today, the live stream. So I have a fair amount of questions today. Also, is that a healthy solution? Absolutely. Music therapy is very helpful. Extremely helpful. I mean, learning an instrument is one of the healthiest things you can do during a time where you're going through a breakup. It's an outlet, an emotional outlet. He said, since you brought up Coach Lee, aside from stuff like a percentage quiz, do you find his information useful? I know you like Craig and Corey. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, Coach Lee rubs me the wrong way, and I'm not quite sure why. I've seen that in certain videos of his, and I can't name which ones, so you guys will just have to take me at my word here. I basically have directly seen him like taking quotes from other coaches like myself or Corey Wayne or Craig Kenneth and not quoting the coach. Whenever I use a quote from a different coach, I'll say, as Corey Wayne said, or you can find on Craig's channel that he says blank. I don't necessarily have a problem with Coach Lee. I just think that the vibe I get is it's some random guy who realized that he can make money going on YouTube and giving advice, and so he did, but versus people like Craig, who has a degree, myself, who does this professionally outside of YouTube, you want to listen to people who know what they're talking about. The reason I was rubbed the wrong way with Coach Lee was because I heard that he suggested to many of the people that I coach, it's been 6 weeks. Somebody I coached right before this said, you've been in no contact for 6 weeks. It's probably a good time to reach out. But then you go to his videos and it says, don't reach out at all. So there's that dichotomy. So I don't know enough about Coach Lee to give a good assessment of Coach Lee. And I certainly don't want to turn this into a coach war where it's a he said, because ultimately it's about the healing that you guys feel. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting good information. But one of the other things that bugs me about his coachings is that he charges something like $90 a half hour, which just drives me, which is insane, right? You don't pay a doctor that, well, maybe a doctor. You don't pay a therapist that. Why would you pay a random stranger on the internet that? Whereas, if you come to me, it's $84 for the entire hour. So, again, I can't get too into this because it will appear coach versus coach, and that's not my intention. My intention is to make sure you guys get good quality advice for a price that does not completely destroy your bank. That's my goal. And that's why I give away so much for free, and free raffles, and free coachings, and I keep the Patreon prices low, and I frankly keep the coaching prices low. On that note, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway for the Patreon people only, so you guys will see that in a topic in a couple of days, especially for the $15 tier. I want you guys to have something nice too. Clara says, I have so much work on myself. I have worked on myself so much. I have never lost my confidence. I am now a resident of Bloomfield in upscale apartments. Changed my hair and makeup and maintain weight loss. From time to time, I think of my ex. Good for you, Clara. Listen, every time I talk to you, you sound like you're doing better and better. So really good on you. I'm proud of you. Honestly, Rory, my ex made me feel not good enough for her. I just want to move forward. She was smiling and laughing when I spoke to her, so I'm assuming she has resolved her feelings. I believe she will not ever reach. I just want to move forward now. Then that should be your intention, Isaac. To put yourself in a forward state. Move forward by beginning today. Focus on you. Run forward. Focus on the things that you know you need to be doing for yourself. And they could be fantastic. Right? They could be fantastic, great new things. Maybe it's scuba diving. Maybe it's skydiving. Maybe you want to get a second degree or buy a house. Achieve big goals, because we have to live life as if we only get to do it one time. Right? Live life as if you only get to do it one time. That's the key. You'll never regret self-love. You'll never regret working on yourself. It's just the truth. Al says, Rory, you state, don't mind read. As I've said, my ex was being very friendly midweek, wine-induced, basically breadcrumbs. The next day, she texts, anyways, enjoy the holidays, Merry Christmas, best in 2019. Yeah, I think it's your ex is just trying to be nice and friendly. And I would mirror her reactions. If she's being nice, friendly, relaxed, you can be nice and friendly and relaxed. Just be careful about being her friend. That's not what you want, right? It's being inorganic. Dan says, the dating guy does a video on how to spot fake coaches. Did he? I liked Coach Lee till I went on his website where he has a lot of signs the dating guy mentioned. I would be cautious. I didn't know the dating guy did that. Now, the dating guy is somebody I like because he never claims to be a professional. He never claims any of that stuff. He's just seems like a nice, down-to-earth, common-sense guy, and he's trying to help people avoid the pitfalls. Now, that is somebody I would recommend. If you want to go to coaching, I don't believe I have all the answers. I don't. But at least I'm going to admit that to you. I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm doing my best and help me do my best. And I think that it can be hard because there's so many people on YouTube, over 10,000 now, in fact, that is... And so many people are requesting, more X-Back videos, more things like that. But really, I want the channel to turn... not just only get your ex back for the new viewers, so I'll re-release a video about getting your ex back so that they don't have to dig 80 videos in the past to find one. But I also want it to be maintaining new relationships, right? And getting new partners, and attraction, and hell, how to be confident, things like that. Things that will be helpful for the rest of your life, and not just during a time where you're going through a breakup. I've even played around with the idea of creating a second YouTube for questions that are only based on dating and not breakups. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm probably not going to end up doing that. Let's see here. My ex posted on social media all the time when we were together and before we dated, but now hardly posts ever. What could cause that shift? Christy, that is mind reading to the max. Don't do it. Don't do it. You and I talked. You know what to do. Well, clearly, if he's trying to hide his current partner, Christy, this seems to be par for the course. I live in Amsterdam. Not my English. My English is not 100%. Sorry, no problem. It's good to have you here. We are a year and a half years apart. February for the last 2 weeks together. But then I came there. She still had that friend when we had... I think what you're trying to say here... So you guys have been split up for about a year and a half, 2 years. And the last 2 weeks together were in February. How much of the personal work are you doing? If it's been 2 years since you've been broken up with your partner, and you're still trying to get your partner back, if I'm understanding what you're trying to type correctly, have you been doing the personal work? I realize it's going to be difficult because you are still with... What's the best way to put this? Because you were forced to see your ex so much, I realize how hard it can be to move forward. But you owe it to yourself to move forward in a way that's healthy, in a way that respects you, right? In a way that helps you achieve your best life and your healthiest life. Let me hide this. And hide that. There we go. Let's see here. So my ex gave her keys after I bought her half of our apartment. However, She also gave her a copy of the key to our mailbox. Now there are invoices in it. She doesn't know some of her mail arrives here, though. I don't want her to get in trouble, but I also don't want to break no contact. Also, I meant bills, not invoices. I think you have to show her her bills. Oh, absolutely. Please, if you want to translate, please, that would be great. Very helpful. Thank you. You have to give her her bills. You can, if you know her new address, or if you know that there's somebody, if there's a friend you guys share, family member, we can't have her not paying her bills because of a breakup. And don't worry, no contact. If you break it to handle business, it's okay. Your ex is not going to think, oh God, he's giving me my bills because he wants me to get back with him. It's not going to go that way. Yeah, but she does know her mail arrives here. I think that you have to remember that life gets in the way, right? Life gets busy. And so if she... Hi there, how are you? Good to have you here. She's not going to assume because you broke no contact to give her her mail, bills specifically, that you want to get back with her. So I understand your concern, I just don't share it. Olga says, it's probably karma. I left almost all my exes and couldn't care less, and here I am on the other side of the scale. I think that it is easy to chalk it up to karma. It is easy to chalk it up to how we could have showed up better in past relationships, but it's not a healthy thought, because now that we know better, we have to do better. So you know better. You've been on both sides of the scale. Perhaps it's your turn to pay it forward and to help people who've been through or who are going through this and help them over some of the pitfalls that you've successfully navigated, you know? Help them through no contact. Help them avoid doing some of the silly stuff that maybe you did. That's certainly why I created the Love Chat, to give people professional advice that's affordable and free advice with the live streams, and to help them avoid the pitfalls like the handwritten letter and the grand gestures and things like that. We want to get ourselves back, and a breakup helps you do anything but. Clara says, I would like to do a private coaching. So Clara, in your inbox, I've sent you the discount link a couple times, so go check your inbox on Patreon. It's sitting there. All you need to do is follow that link. Dan says, what are ways to improve self-awareness? I realize I did a lot of things I did poorly in my relationship and wasn't even aware of it until I found your channel. Well, certainly having a mentor or a therapist, somebody to keep you in check, is always an extremely helpful way to do that. Other ways to improve self-awareness. That's a good question. I think that realizing yourself and the things in your life that make you happy and focusing on maintaining your individuality is a good way of improving self-awareness. And always stopping and asking yourself, am I okay with what's happening right now? Am I okay with life at the moment? Did the interaction I just had with my partner make me feel bad? And is it something I should bring up and put my foot down on? These are all helpful questions. They're all healthy. And a counselor will help you see perhaps what you're not seeing. But also, there's a time to realize that your ex can cross a line. Your current partner can cross a line. And it's during those times we need to put our foot down and say, hey, what just happened, I'm not cool with. You don't need to go at their throat. You can just tell them, hey, I want to talk about this. It's important to me that we're able to communicate in this way. And, I want you to give me your word that you're going to sit down, hold my hand, look me in the eye, and let's talk about this. I've been trying to meet up, but haven't seen much in my area with people my age. Are there other similar sites or suggestions on how to meet people? Christy, Meetup, you want to keep digging and really use that search function, because Meetup is a little weird when you first use it. You want to sign up for as many things that interest you and then type in specific keywords. Because if you type in Meetup City A, it will only show you stuff in that city. It won't show you all the surrounding stuff too, even if it's only 5 miles away. So it's really all about that search function. Or maybe go to a major city area and try it there. Are there other similar sites? I know that Bumble has a friends feature. That might be something to do as well. Also, sign up for a class. Sign up to something that interests you. One of the things that I did was I signed up for an archery class. I really liked it. And then a couple weeks ago, I tried kendo, which is like the Japanese sword fighting, which I'm so nerdy about. So I was doing that. It's really hard. Do things that interest you. Place yourself outside your comfort zone. Take that gym class you've been putting off. You meet people when you least expect it. My idea was to just drop her bills in her mailbox at the new address with a copy of the key and a small note. Thought you might need this. That way she can come get her mail when necessary. I think that's good. Yeah, or let her know, the mail that you'll drop off will show her what's going to your location. That way she can just call them and have them redirect it to you. That's probably the best way to handle it. And for those of you who do not know, I do now have a live Discord. And Discord is basically a live forum. It's like a forum, but for instant messaging. And that is, I can get you guys the link to join if you want. Typically, it's something for the younger folks, the 20-somethings, but I invite everybody. And it's basically a version of the forum, but that you can take on your mobile phone, that you can talk to people over text or over voice. And so the Discord is something I'm pretty excited about. It already has over 100 people on it. Olga says, what if I know in my heart of hearts that he will 100% not reach out? I wasn't a psycho ex, but he's just not this kind of person who reaches out. Does this even make sense to book a coaching? Hi, Coney. What if you 100% know? Well, I think that's 100% mind reading, right? The truth of the matter is you don't know. You can't know. I can't know. Nobody can know. If your ex isn't going to reach out to a relationship where you begged and pleaded for him to stay and work on it with you, and he wasn't willing, and you chose to go into this period of no contact to help yourself heal, because remember, that's what no contact is for. It's not some secret trick, right? There is a side effect where your ex will be kind of wondering what you're up to, and if you're talking to somebody else and why they haven't heard from you, and Christmas and New Year's go by and they still haven't heard from you, and the curiosity sets in. And then when they reach out to see what you're doing, they see this interesting new version of you, and they kind of go, oh, wow, they address all the problems I was really not having. But the greater thing here, Olga, is that are you so attached to the hip with your ex, and have you completely placed all your happiness in them? You know what I mean? Is your happiness so contingent on what they do that you need to reach out? And if they're not going to reach out to you, what does that say about how they value you? It's something to think about. I mean, what can you tell me what I don't know? Going to no contact and such. Well, the thing, Olga, is that I think you're looking for a magic key. A magic answer, right? But that doesn't work. Right? There's no magic, there's no trick. Focus on you. Make your life a life worth living and a life that you're proud of. Gain your power back and your happiness back, and realize that your ex is not the end-all be-all, and we should never lose our individuality when it comes to someone else. So you're looking for these extra answers that I'm hiding for only the coachings, right? It doesn't exist. Focus on you. Focus on how you can do better. Hope that your ex is working on themselves and the things that they could have showed up better in the relationship. You can reach out to your ex, but they'll know that you're chasing. They'll know why you're reaching out. Oh god, what's this music? Oh, we're gonna kick it back a little bit here. Hold on. Let's go right. Let's go here. There we go. So I think that's going to be the healthiest place to operate from. Tell me what you think about that. She asked me to let the mail arrive here when we broke up instead of have it rerouted. Didn't get why, though. Won't be dropping off the mail. Seems stalky. I think that it is certainly suspect. She probably wanted a way to reach out if she ever wanted to, but we want to take that away from her, right? You're moving forward from your life, And not only that, it doesn't take away her way to reach out. If she wants to reach out to you, she's going to message you. There's this cool thing called a phone. She could just text you or call you. The mail is not necessary. I've been thinking more on how breakups can get us in a loop of thinking that it's all our fault. But it's also important to be patient and empathetic with ourselves. Absolutely. Amen. Yes, you are right. How can we do a private session? This is great. I have much to talk about. P.S. I blocked her on every social media channel. She can only email me. What do you think about this? I would unblock her, but just unfollow her. In order to do a private session, all you need to do is visit my website. I'll type it in the chat right now. Just follow that, and we can get all set up. Can we safely assume if my interaction with my ex was she was smiling and laughing that she has resolved her feelings? No, we can't assume that at all. All that means is that she was laughing and smiling. I've been working on myself a lot, but I'm worried my anxiety will still peak during the holidays next week. Whether he reaches out or not, I don't expect him to. There was no birthday reach out last week. I think that we want to look at that and really ask ourselves, I was with this person for a very good amount of time, and I remember your situation well, Christy, because we've spoken so much. If you are with your ex for that period of time, and your ex can't do the simple courtesy of reaching out for your birthday, to say happy birthday, you were somebody I cared about and somebody I was happy with, and hey, here you go, just happy birthday. It doesn't mean I want to get back with you, it just means I care about you and I don't want the worst for you. Happy birthday. Right? What does that say about your ex? No, but he was a perfect match. I study dentistry. He's a physicist, jazz, science, and literature. I realize that you're in a period where you want your ex back very much. I think that if you limit yourself to the idea that this is the perfect match, that you've already found and lost the one, that closes yourself off to the future possibilities. There are billions, with a B, of people on the planet. There is more than just one perfect match, I promise. You need to look at your ex's actions and ask yourself if right now their actions are helping you or hurting you. And it sounds like all of his actions are only hurting you. And your ex isn't going to reach out, even though you were there, ready, willing, and able to work on the relationship. I want you to realize that you are very much still in the relationship mindset. You're still trying to recapture that which is eluding you. You have a horse in this race. So of course you want your ex back right now. It's normal. It would be weird if you came here and said, I don't want my ex back, right? But you need to focus on yourself. Take this time for you. I was in a 2-year relationship and we broke up. We got along really well, so we broke up, and 6 weeks later I found out he got married to a girl he just met. It's been 9 months and he reached out to me twice for very random stuff. I'm in a really good place, but his behavior makes me curious. That sounds extremely unhealthy. Unless there's... no, I can't even unless. That sounds extremely unhealthy, and I think blocking your ex and getting out of that situation is going to be extremely healthy for you. Your ex, you guys were together for 2 years. Was this other person in the background? Is this other person from a different country who had to get married to stay in the country? What? That doesn't sound very healthy. Get out of that situation. Rory, thanks again for the excellent work during our email coaching. I'll be following up again with you shortly. On that note, Merry Christmas, all the best health in 2019. Thank you, Al. You too. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to everybody, by the way. I meant dropping it off at her new place, seemingly stalky, instead of, for example, messaging her to let her know I would message her. I think you're overthinking a little bit, but I agree. Let's avoid the potential stalkiness. Just message her and say, hey, your stuff's here, come grab it. I left you a key so you can grab it whenever you want. It's not my responsibility anymore, it's on you. Dan says, I found the only reason I would like to try again with my ex is because I know what I did wrong and how to correct it. And we didn't have a bad relationship overall. Is this normal? It is. It's normal to want to go back and fix past mistakes. But I think the growth is a forward motion. Growth doesn't, all the past mistakes, treat that as fertilizer for future growth, right? Pardon the cheesiness of what I just said, but it's true. The past informs how you can do better in the future. And that's how I want you to act. Wouldn't he have felt the same way about me when I didn't reach out for his birthday the week before mine? Again, it's all relative. Is he receptive to that right now? Right? Or is the novelty of a new relationship still in play? Remember, there is no guarantees here. No coach, no counselor, no psychotherapist or psychiatrist or psychologist or behavior analyst or whatever can guarantee your ex is going to come back with complete certainty. We can't. We just can't. And any of them who tell you that they can is lying to you, and they're taking your money. Honesty is what's going to help you all heal in the best way for you. And so I'm not here to lie to you guys. I'm here to tell you the truth that maybe you want to hear and maybe you don't, but it's important. But remember that the reason I endorse other coaches like the Dating Guy or Craig Kenneth or Corey Wayne is because I realize that I don't have all the answers, right? Also, in the same vein as my first question, what to think of Instagram stories of songs where I seem to be the bad guy? I think that is par for the course during a breakup, you know, and there's probably some projecting going on. Listen, we can do better in relationships, but so can our ex. A relationship is never, ever, ever 100% one person's fault, ever. Unless you're dating a complete narcissist or psychopath, it is never 100%. Even if it's 99-1, it's never just one person's fault, ever. Not completely. Maybe majority, but not completely. Rory, what helped you give up hope for your ex? My situation was so screwed up that I gave up hope day one of the breakup. I was in a relationship for 10 years with my partner. We were engaged and living together. And 4 months before our wedding, I found out that my ex was cheating on me with people, several people, both of the same sex and opposite sex. And then my ex, you know, I agreed to stay with her and try and work it out when I completely should have walked away. And then a week later, she told me that she was going to sign up for grad school 5 hours away. And then she ended up going to grad school and leaving. And so I think by that point, this is probably about 7-8 years ago at this point, before I really had any of this experience or did it professionally. And I thought my situation was just so hopeless that I took the other route, you know. I said, there's no point doing any of the begging or pleading. There's no hope. She's leaving. And so I got to work. The only other option I had, since begging and pleading would lead me nowhere, was I simply, you know, started running, started journaling, talking to therapists, and healing. I thought, she's not coming back, so there's no point. I did all of those things. And against every odd, she came back. She moved back to where we lived. She broke up with the person she left me for. Everything I told myself that wasn't going to happen ended up happening. Is that a typical situation? No, of course not. But I made the situation a lot better by not begging, by not pleading, by not doing any of that. And guess what? I got to tell her to her face, sorry, sweetheart, you lost out. I've moved on. And when I closed the door, I felt good. I smiled. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I was excited for the next chapter. I moved forward knowing something was truly resolved. Just want to say a big thanks for what you provide, Rory. Just in case I forget before the stream ends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys are here with me. I put anything to do with my ex, photos, cards, little notes, gifts in a box and put it away. I've tried to go through it and get rid of some of the stuff, but I can't find myself to do it. Well, Dan, don't force yourself. You want to do it when you're ready. You want to do it when you're ready. I feel like it's holding me back sometimes, and I shouldn't keep it. I think that you need to be ready to toss it away, and you're not ready yet. Give yourself the time. It took me, God, probably about 4 years to get rid of that engagement ring I had from my ex. Part of that was because, like, how do you get rid of an engagement ring and get a good price for it? But also, every time I thought about getting rid of it, I couldn't. It was a physical block, a mental block. I just couldn't do it. I would tear up, and I would tell myself, okay, all right, it's fine. You're not ready yet. It's okay. And eventually, one day, I was just like, screw it. I'm selling it. So me and my new partner went and sold it together, and we bought ourselves a nice vacation. Best vacation I've ever been on. Can you make a video on it takes two people to make a relationship work? Sure. It's a good topic. So everybody, I'm going to leave it here. The stream's been up for about an hour and 10 minutes now. And I want to say thank you to every one of you and to give you all a very happy and healthy 2019. Together we're going to do this. And remember that one of the best things you can do for yourself, past working on yourself, is helping others through the worst parts of the breakup. Right? Help people through the pitfalls that you've been through. Help them avoid the mistakes that you've made. Healing others is cathartic. Let me answer this one last one. A friend told me it was probably my ex would go through the shock of the breakup only months later, when I've had the worst of it. Do you think that? The dumper has a delay on experience. Well, yes, you guys are on two separate sides of the spectrum. Right? You break up with your ex, or your ex breaks up with you, you feel bad right away. Your ex does the breaking up. At first, they feel free. They feel relaxed. They feel easy. Oh, finally, it's done. All that worry over the dumping and the guilt and all that, it's gone. I'm free. I'm single. And then they see what life is like without you. Over time. Everything about the single life and the novelty goes away. And now, they get this. Nobody's there. Nobody's there for me. I'm passing the restaurant with the person I used to go to, and God, it just makes me think of them. I'm lying down, and I can't think of the last time I was happy when I went to bed by myself, and I miss my person, and God, Christmas, he's not going to be there, and just all of those thoughts and feelings. And meanwhile, you're out working on yourself and not reaching out to them, and they wonder how you had the strength to do that. A lot of people get their ex back. That's not to give you guys false hope, but it's also helping you guys not give yourselves false doom. Food for thought. Thanks, Rory. Also, if you can make a long sleeve shirt for the love chat. I think there is one. That's a hoodie. Sure. Keep an eye out on that, Dan. So, everybody, have a happy and healthy new year.
Let's do